Hi everyone, I'm Mary, and I'm 14. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is my story. I didn't remember my dad. He left when my sister Ashley and I were only 3 years old. Mom worked like a dog after that. Day and night, she was always working. Our older sister Elizabeth was looking after us. She was 7 at the time. Yeah, you heard that right. Mom didn't see anything wrong with the 7-year-old being a babysitter. At first, Ashley and I didn't see anything wrong with it either. Elizabeth was our older sister, of course she was in charge. But then things got weird. Mom would leave and Elizabeth would turn into, well, a monster. She came up with stupid games like survival camp, where she hid food from us. Hunt if you want to have dinner. One day, we turned up the volume a little bit while watching cartoons. She yelled at us and locked us in the pantry. You are grounded for bad behavior. When we complained to Mom, Elizabeth suddenly turned into an angel. They're making it up. Mom believed her. She was too tired after work to deal with us. We put up with it for years, but we didn't understand why Elizabeth hated us. When Ashley and I turned 14 and Elizabeth turned 18, we ran out of patience. Our older sister was still bullying us, except now she was being passive-aggressive. At one point, Ashley and I decided enough was enough. We had to find out what was wrong with Elizabeth. Why do you hate us? That's none of your business. Stay in your room and don't bother me. She refused to explain anything. After that, Ashley and I resolved to get to the bottom of it. Could it be that something happened to Elizabeth? We followed her around like real detectives. Yeah, he just dumped me. We knew right away she was talking about a guy. Mom also confirmed it. It's a shame Elizabeth and Jason didn't work out. Bingo. Elizabeth had to be acting like that because of Jason. What if we helped them get back together? Would Elizabeth be normal then? Ashley and I created fake social media accounts. We called ourselves Jenny, used some pictures from Pinterest, and texted Jason. Did you know that Elizabeth still misses you? Really? That's awesome. Then we arranged a chance meeting for them. Jason, come to the cafe on the corner. Elizabeth, look at those day specials. Let's try them. He came, she came, and what do you think? I missed you too. Too? I got over you ages ago. Elizabeth grabbed our hands and dragged us away. I realized she wasn't like that because of Jason. Okay, so that didn't work. We're missing something. We started digging again. Maybe she's mad because she wasn't accepted into the drama club. Maybe that's it. Elizabeth had always wanted to join the school drama club but failed the audition. Could she be holding a grudge? Maybe she was mad they didn't recognize her talent. Could that be it? We decided to act again. First, we wrote a letter and signed it with our principal's name. I would greatly appreciate it if you considered accepting Elizabeth into the drama club. She's extraordinarily talented and deserves a chance to prove herself. We sent that letter to the drama club. Next, we filmed Elizabeth doing impressions of our teachers. We added the caption, "Brilliant acting," and sent it to the school group chat. Everyone loved it. Our plan went off without a hitch. Soon after that, Elizabeth was invited to an audition. But 10 minutes later, she kicked the door open and stormed out of there. Hypocrites! They didn't want me before, and now I don't need them. Great, that's not it either. Ash, come to think of it, Elizabeth has been like this ever since she was a kid. That's right! The answers must be in her childhood. That evening, we brought a dusty box full of old photos from the attic to our room. At first, we only saw normal pictures of me, Ashley, our mom, and our cat. Then we found a few photos taken in the summer. In them, little Elizabeth was standing next to a girl we didn't recognize. They were hugging each other and laughing like the best of friends. However, that girl was no longer in the photos taken that fall. Elizabeth was alone in them, with a sour look on her face. She's the reason! Elizabeth fought with her friend and never got over it. Should we try to find her? First, we went to our neighbor. She knew everything about everyone. Oh, that's Kathleen O'Hara. She and Elizabeth were inseparable, but then Kathleen moved somewhere. It was a long time ago. It was another dead end, but we didn't give up. We looked for Kathleen on social media through friends of friends, tags, old comments, and eventually, we found her. Hi, are you by chance Elizabeth's childhood friend? Who are you? We explained everything to her and set up a meeting for her and Elizabeth in a couple of days. We lured our sister to the park without telling her anything. However, that didn't end well. You? Hi, can we talk? Talk to my shadow. Bye, traitor. Elizabeth left. She wasn't happy about the meeting at all. Ashley and I didn't understand what was going on. This is it. I give up. Listen, what if she's just like that? For no reason. I thought that Elizabeth might have just been born with a nasty temperament. You know, there are people who always look like someone's just spat on their shoe. That was Elizabeth. As I watched her yell at Ashley because of some nonsense once again, I realized that I was tired. You put the mug on the wrong shelf? Then something in my head clicked. I decided to stop putting up with such treatment and give her a taste of her own medicine. I told Ashley about my plan. You want to fight Elizabeth? Yeah, I'm serious about this. Mom told Elizabeth to wash all the dishes before dinner. We waited until her sister was done, and then spilled ketchup and peanut butter on the clean dishes. Why are they still dirty? Mom wasn't listening anymore. The next step was our sister's school project. We called the principal. Hello, this is Elizabeth's mom. She won't hand in the project on time because she's getting her nails done.
Nails?
Yes, nothing is more important than that. She said, school can wait. We spent all evening laughing. Then we wrote a note and signed it with Elizabeth's name. I hate school and I hate all of you too. Elizabeth. We left it in Mom's room. She found it in the evening. What is this? Elizabeth tried to explain, but Mom didn't listen. All in all, everything was going great. However, our joy was short-lived as usual. One day, Elizabeth found out everything and went ballistic. Oh, you little brats! She cut our hair off and convinced Mom we had done it to ourselves. It was no longer a game, it was war. You started this! I kept trying to think of the perfect way to get back at Elizabeth, and then Mom gave me an idea. Girls, I'm going to a conference this weekend. Elizabeth is in charge while I'm gone. Soon, I overheard Elizabeth talking to someone on the phone. Hi, I'm throwing a party. Everyone's invited. She decided to throw the party of the century. This is our chance. Let's make sure Elizabeth will never forget this party. On the day of the party, a bunch of teenagers came over to our house. They were blasting out music. The first thing Ashley and I did was change the name of our Wi-Fi. Elizabeth eats boogers. Elizabeth's friends died laughing. Next, we added hot chili sauce to the punch. In 15 minutes, all hell broke loose. Where's the water? My mouth is on fire! Next, we used the projector to show everyone Elizabeth's old photos. In them, she was wearing silly pajamas and had a pimple on the forehead. Everyone was rolling on the floor. Finally, we turned off the power. Bang. And it was dark. Some kids screamed, some fell over, and some spilled Coke. Of course, Elizabeth quickly realized we were behind it all. She turned the power back on and locked us in Mom's room. Sit here, geniuses. The key turned in the lock. That was it. We were trapped. This is it. No, this isn't over. Remember that YouTube video? We rummaged through Mom's drawers and found an old bobby pin. I used it to pick the lock. Are you sure this is going to work? Click. The door was open. Let's go. We opened the window, tied some sheets together, and climbed down like ninjas. It was time for the final act. We went back inside, and I poured a whole bottle of bubble bath liquid into the bath. In just a minute, the bath was overflowing. It was time for a foam party. Ashley took her phone and played a recording of Mom's voice on a speaker. I'm coming home. Be there in 10 minutes. We need to leave. Her mom's coming. Everyone scattered. Elizabeth was standing in the middle of the living room with a murderous look on her face. I thought she would start screaming, throwing sneakers at us and all that, but Elizabeth burst into tears. I just wanted to feel free for once, but you ruined everything. I froze. Like, what? We just wanted to get back at you. You don't know anything. Ashley and I sat down next to her in silence. I've never been able to do what I wanted to. When I was 7, Kathleen and I were friends. We hung out, discussed movies, drew comics. It was great. But then Mom made me babysit you all the time. I realized that Elizabeth had always been there for us. She showed us the shadow plays and even did the voices. Back then, she seemed to enjoy it. It's just that whenever I refused, Mom would get upset, and Kathleen, she once jokingly called me an errand babysitter. That stung. She said I could only blame myself. We had a fight and never made up. That's rough. Then, I wanted to join the drama club at school. I memorized the monologues and practiced at home, but on the day of the audition, Mom told me to take you to the dentist. I missed the audition. The principal's daughter got the role instead, even though she's terrible. Was it because of us? It was all because of you. Even Jason dumped me because I kept missing our dates. I didn't have a life because of you. Wow, we thought you liked hanging out with us. You didn't have a choice. There was a long silence. We could hear the foam hitting the floor. You know, Elizabeth, we're 14 now. We're not babies anymore. Stop coddling us. As for Mom, we don't need to tell her anything. Elizabeth suddenly wiped away her tears and smirked. You are little brats, but smart ones. We're good? We're good. For the first time ever, we hugged. Not because Mom told us to. It was genuine. We cleaned the house until 3 in the morning. By the time Mom got back, everything looked perfect. Things changed after that. Elizabeth stopped bothering us and we, in turn, covered for her. Mom, we're going to the library to prepare for a biology test. In fact, Elizabeth was going on a date with Jason, and we went to an ice cream festival at a mall. Mom, look, we got a certificate for helping out at school. The certificate had been made by us. The stamp was drawn with ketchup. Elizabeth helped us. She's almost like a teacher. Mom was so touched she had tears in her eyes. My daughter is so grown up and responsible. Elizabeth winked at us and gave us a thumbs up behind her back. Her life got better. She got back together with Jason, was accepted into the drama club, and even made up with Kathleen. We believed that everything would be fine from then on. But of course, we were wrong. It all began with a small thing. Mom found a movie ticket for the previous Friday in my backpack. At that time, I had supposedly been in the library preparing for a test. Well. A neighbor came over a couple of days later, the one who knew everything about everyone. I saw Elizabeth in the cafe. What a beautiful girl. And the guy she was with was gorgeous too. I didn't see your other girls there though. Mom nodded, but her eyes went into Terminator mode. Then she did something she had never done before. She watched the surveillance footage. It showed Ashley and me leaving the house and going towards school, and then we saw Elizabeth running with Jason in the other direction a minute later. I see how it is. She took away our phones, tablets too, no pocket money for a month, and most importantly, 2 weeks of house arrest. I swear I'm cursed. I'll be babysitting you my whole life. It's over. Listen, I remembered something. When you locked us in Mom's room at the party, I saw some documents. What? It was something about money. I also saw Dad's name. I didn't read them, but it stuck in my head. We exchanged glances and silently agreed we had to get to the bottom of it. Ashley and I distracted Mom. Mom, could you help us with an essay? It's about the meaning of life. We don't get it. Elizabeth sneaked into her room, rummaged through her drawers, and found the documents. These are alimony reports. What does that mean? Dad has been paying Mom a lot of money to help her take care of us, but she always said she didn't have much money, that she was working to put food on the table. I made a few calls and found out that Mom doesn't have a job. She never worked anywhere. We dug deeper and found out something that blew our minds. When Mom had supposedly been at a conference, she'd actually spent the weekend relaxing at a villa with some guy. Her job was to party, wear makeup, drink coffee with her friends, and tell everyone how tired she was. She made Elizabeth raise us because she was too lazy to deal with us herself. We decided to find Dad. His address was in those alimony reports. He opened the door and immediately realized something had happened. Is something wrong? We told him everything. About the villa, about the alimony. I always knew that sooner or later you would find out. Why didn't you say anything? Because your mom forbade me from seeing you. She threatened to sue me. But why? I found out that she was cheating on me. Then she decided to keep you, not because she loved you, but because she wanted to get the alimony. So she needed us for the money? We sat in silence, utterly devastated. We decided to confront Mom and have a serious conversation with her. We know everything. About the alimony, about Dad, about your job. You lied to us. Mom chuckled. Whatever. Anyway, I found a rich fiance. I'm getting married soon. And you can go live with your dad. Can you imagine? It was like we were suitcases. Dad picked us up the same day, hugged us tight, and said that things would be different now. At first, we didn't know how to keep living knowing the truth. Mom wasn't who she claimed to be. We thought she was a hero, but she was a liar. We even had to go to a psychologist. Dad insisted. We're fine now. Staying with Dad has been good for us. Elizabeth is finally living her life. Ashley and I don't mess with her anymore, and we stopped fighting. We're sisters now, not enemies. Sometimes I think about the past. I used to be mad at Elizabeth, but now I understand that she had to grow up too quickly because Mom dumped all the responsibility on her. That wasn't okay. Adults should not make children do their work for them. Kids should have a normal childhood. When parents forget about that, everyone suffers.